President Yasuo Hasegawa, Chairman Wataru Hasegawa, faculty, administrators, distinguished alumni, distinguished guests, it is a pleasure to be here on this occasion. I have an opportunity to talk a bit about the future that we all have, and the future can only be predicted if it comes from trends that are long established and from many sources. There are three such trends in the world, and they are all present in Japan, and they are all present in the computer gakuen. They are democracy, free markets, and technology. And the history of the 20th century teaches that those trends cannot be reversed. There will only be more. Our job is to steer them for the maximum benefit of our societies. Think of America in the 1990s, a rusty, tired economy producing too few low-quality products for high prices. Other countries came to dominate all of the continuous production processes that America had invented: automobiles, steel, electronic assembly. They were all captured by other countries. But the 1990s ended with America as the world's only superpower, economically and politically, and 40% of the growth in the American domestic gross national product has been attributed to productivity gains enabled by technology. Non-farm productivity rose at a 2.5% annual rate as businesses produced roughly the same output with less labor. That unusual feat is evidence that with the help of technology, the American economy could emerge from a 20-year productivity slump. And if productivity gains reflect a country made more efficient by computers and the internet, then we can expect to grow at an average rate of about 3.5%. How does a country steer its future? Think about the long-term effect of technology on the different sectors of any developed country. Transportation. At the beginning of the 20th century, transportation meant trains, horses, and motor cars, and now every car built in Japan since 1996 has more computing capability than did the first lunar lander, Apollo 11. Or think of finance. 80% of personal banking transactions are done by computers rather than wait in line for personal contact with a bank teller. We all use ATMs, and ATM technology is transparent. It does not require training. Or communications. When the telegraph first came to Russia, Leo Tolstoy was giving his mother a ride down a country road. She asked what the poles and the wires were for, and he replied, "They're used to move words." After watching for a while, she announced that she had not seen any words on the wires. That was only 100 years ago. In 2004, 43 million young adults will be using wireless communication. Or agriculture. Farmers were once famous as the most backward sector of our economies. No more. Tractors are sold with transponders that talk to global positioning satellites and adjust the amount of seed and fertilizer every meter depending on an onboard computer analysis of the soil composition and moisture. And finally, business. First, electronic technology and now digital technology have transformed work. Do you remember typing pools? Now we all word process what was once typed by someone else. The smart organization buys its employees laptops and cell phones, confident that professionalism will blur the lines between company time and personal time, between home and work. I have spent my career trying to understand how people learn. All of us forget what the American novelist Mark Twain taught: never confuse schooling and learning. And we forget what the philosopher, also from Columbia University, John Dewey said: we practically never teach anything by direct instruction, but rather by the creation of settings. When Dewey said that in 1932, he did not have any very good way to create settings except by sending students out to apprentice in the workplace. With digital techniques, with computers, we can create micro-worlds that teach. Digital technology changes diagnosis, storage, and presentation. And the computer Gakuen is leading the world in demonstrating those new possibilities. At the same time, Japan is leading the world in ICT expenditures. Japan spends 10% more per capita on ICT as an investment than does the United States. As a young man, I went to Washington, D.C. to work in the national government because a president, John Kennedy, asked, "How do we move a nation?" I had the privilege of working for another president, Lyndon Johnson. Lyndon Johnson asked, "How do we advance every citizen?" As proud as I am of the domestic gains of that government, I regret that America did not then think to equip my country with the resources that Japan has through KCG. I congratulate Monbusho for its wisdom in establishing the Kyoto College of Graduate Studies in Informatics, Japan's first and only professional school in information technology. The Kyoto College of Graduate Studies is the rock on which others will build, and Wataru Hasegawa is the stonemason who, like a sculptor, saw the shape of the future inside the stone. In the world of the future, successful leadership will depend on the ability to harness technical systems, computer systems, to learning purposes. That is the mission of the Gakuen. As we all know, a school is only as strong as its leadership and its faculty. The CEO of the Computer Gakuen, Mr. Wataru Hasegawa, is an outstanding doctoral student at Columbia University, so outstanding, in fact, that it is often difficult to tell who is the professor and who is the student. It does not happen often that three trends come together to produce a bright future. But the Kyoto Computer Gakuen represents the forces that are defining the world's future: democracy, market economics, and technology. Because of that, it is easy for me to predict that Japan and the world will be a better place because of what you have accomplished and because of what you will do in the future. I am honored to have a small part in celebrating the accomplishments of the KCG. Thank you for your opportunity and for listening to these remarks. Happy birthday, KCG.
Thank you very much.
ありがとうございました。